Okay, hello. Hello, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I apologize I couldn't join earlier. Kids come first for me.
Yes, definitely. Most important
Of course,
thing.
no problem.
Yeah. How are you all?
We are doing great, sir. Sir,
We're
this is
doing
a
great.
live stream. Are you comfortable being in a live stream? We can close the live stream
Yeah,
down.
no, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay,
I'm
perfect.
okay. Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Can I smoke offline?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So tell me, just how did this group work out? How did it come about?
Different.
So we know each other. Yeah. We all know this guy called Tim, and he has really famous Instagram account about Cyprus. He's a really good analyst, and he writes amazing articles and amazing. It comes up with stuff that entertain us and give us some hope. Well, he's generally right about it. And then I met with a couple of people, and then they lead me to Mr. Doruk, and then I met with Tim, but I don't remember how did I kind of forget in real life, right? Or like in online. I think I respond to your stories in Instagram, and we discussed a little. Yep. I was like, okay, this guy's cool, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I run a Cypriot dictionary for Greek Cypriot dialect and Turkish Cypriot dialect, and me and Berk, we kind of talked about that. I thought that he was a famous person, wanted to interact with us. Turns out he wasn't, but it was very funny. And then we kept the communication together. And Tim and I, we met through his Instagram page. Do you know the what is it? Hainler Kulübü, which is the Treaters Club. The Treaters Club that meets the Greek Cypriots and Turkish Cypriots who meet every Saturday in Büyük Han. The Traitors Club.
Yes, many of them are friends of mine, especially Paralikis.
Yep, Tim through his Instagram arranged a meeting, and 5 or 6 people joined the Traitors Club. 5-6 young people, and we met there and we discussed about the Cyprusproblem, and it was very nice being part of the Traitors Club and having a discussion with the elderly as well. Yes, sir. How did you find us, sir?
Berk. It's all Berk's work.
I'm sorry. I'm a connected guy. Be careful on me.
Yeah.
Sure. It's Volt.
Just on the linguistic thing, Doruk, is that how it's pronounced, Doruk?
Yes.
I come from Paphos, and as you know, we have a rather distinct accent. It so happens that all the Turkish Cypriots in the area have the same accent.
Yes.
It's quite amazing, actually. And when they talk in Greek, we know that they are from Paphos anyway. A friend of mine wrote an article on Facebook today. I don't know if any of you read it, because I reposted it. Andranik Aksian is a very good Armenian Cypriot friend of mine. And the title was Discussing the Discussions. It seems for too many years now, at least in the Greek Cypriot side, we consume amazing time on discussing how the discussions should be, rather than discussing the solution. I don't think we have escaped this trend this time either. And the independent observer, in my opinion, would say that it was not exactly a waste of time, but it was a very disappointing visit, exactly in that way. Ever since Guterres left, I leave aside the fanatics and the nationalists and whatever, the reactionaries and the people who simply one cannot talk with. I am talking about ordinary people, and the same trend is observed. You know, we spend amazing time on procedures, on how this should be done, on why should this be said, and this should be discussed in this way, this should proceed this, and this should proceed that, and we avoid by all costs discussing the real issues, at least on this side. I'm not talking about everybody, but I'm talking about quite a fair percentage of people. We are trapped in this kind of situation for too many years. Now, of course, we can talk about this in the same way for ages and still do nothing. The important thing is to ascertain what can be done from now on. And you know, there is a cloud hanging over us, at least on the Cypriot side now, that doesn't seem to go away. It just doesn't go away, and the only thing that can remove this cloud is another storm. You understand? Because I don't see it bearing any rain. It's just a dark cloud over us that is stuck here and doesn't move in any way. So what this storm can be, I really don't know. Maybe there are things that we don't know about. Maybe. I don't consider, for example, that the gas pipeline from Turkey to northern Cyprus, being a two-way pipe, is accidental. It's I mean, these are huge costs and huge investments. So I don't know if there is something behind our backs is the wrong expression. Something that is discussed at a higher level that we don't know about. That's a given fact. We usually don't know, but maybe this time it's something more. So that's there is a possibility that higher up in Turkey, in Greece, in the United Kingdom of whoever is involved in all this in the Cyprus problem is discussing things that we don't know about. Now, other than that, I don't see anything else happening. I don't see anything else happening. Really, it's very, very disappointing. And this time, I am more pessimistic than ever, because by the time Guterres is replaced, by the time the elections on this side come, you know, we are a year and a half away, and the election campaigns for the Cypriot presidential elections start about 9 months before the election itself. And the main priority, unfortunately, for our politicians and all candidates is to get elected or re-elected. I mean, it's no good pretending that we have an inspiring leader whose sole effort will be to solve the Cyprus problem. They are first looking at their own prospects, and they choose what is observable in the last 50 years. The safest way to get re-elected, obviously, that this is the same for any politician anywhere in the world, is to get as many votes as possible from as a wide a range of people as possible. And the safest way to do this in Cyprus is through keeping the status quo. You understand? It's not just a second way out, as it is usually described. It is the only certain way, or certain to a very large degree, to keep as many people satisfied as possible. So unfortunately, we are trapped in a vicious circle that I really have no answer how to get out, and I don't think any of us does. So that's why I go back to saying again that the only way is some other force or some other events or some other interests that will make at least the Greek Cypriot society realize that the status quo is a very dangerous situation. It's a time bomb. It's a time bomb for us. You know, we're sitting on a time bomb and we don't realize it. And the best thing that can happen out of this situation, in my opinion, in the long run, having been born before 1974 and observing whatever has been happening ever since, is that we're going towards a kind of double enosis situation, a type of double enosis. You understand? We are seeing that this military, this very fake, in my opinion, military alliance between Israel, Greece, and Cyprus, where the only benefactor at the end of the day can only be Israel. I don't see how it can benefit us in Cyprus, especially in any way, other than giving us a false impression that we are safer with under that kind of situation. Netanyahu will be gone one day. You understand? I mean, I am certain at some point that the Israeli people themselves will take Netanyahu to court. They did it with Golda Meir for a much lesser reason. And we'll realize at some point that whatever the interests of certain financial and economic sectors in Cyprus, the same is for the North Cyprus, actually, as far as the Israelis is concerned, with huge investments. It is a very, very false situation, and we fail to see it. Instead of, you know, crossing the bridge so that we can see what's happening from the other side of the bridge, we are concerned on what kind of wood and iron will build the bridge with. Not that I underestimate the sound arguments some people have about the possible solution. People need to feel secure. You know, I'm not a romantic. Especially, they need. I mean, the security aspect for me is the most important. Is what people have inside them. You know, even if they don't realize it, it's what guides them to see matters in 10 or 15 years ahead. Plus, we have this education system in Cyprus that for years, for decades now, insists of teaching children the same stories, without ever telling them what is going on, what really happened. It's amazing how many young people in Cyprus think or perceive that the Cyprus problem started on the 15th of June in 1974. They have no idea of what happened before. Or they have no idea to a very large extent. They hear things, but they're not certain. They don't know. So we are growing up in a situation where older people are concerned with security and have their, their hard experiences and so on and so on, and a younger generation that doesn't really know what's happening or whatever happened. So allow me to be very pessimistic at this point, though I don't want to be. Actually, I am deliberately pessimistic so that I don't get disappointed once again.
Yeah, we have a couple of questions.
The long introduction.
Yeah. Let me start by reading a couple of them real quick. All right. So someone asked, what does Mr. Euripides, I hope I'm pronouncing correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, Euripides. Think about Tufan Erhürman's preconditions. What do you think about it? A brief answer and then...
Listen. I am not going into thinking deeply about what each politician says.
Mm-hmm.
For me, definitely, Erhürman is better than Tatar in his perception of how the problems should be solved. But to be honest, and especially to be honest towards Turkish Cypriots, I must say that the big actor in this drama is Turkey. It is not Erhürman. I mean, we must accept that. I know how Turkish Cypriot people feel about the solution, which is a different thing, however, to how Turkey perceives a future solution. You understand? So how can I take seriously, not seriously, I mean, how can I take for granted what any Turkish Cypriot politician says if I know at the same time that he's not really free to express what he wants to express? You understand? He's not free to express the willingness of the Turkish Cypriot people in the way that he should.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of
yeah.
And at the same time, okay, the motto is Cyprus decides and Greece supports, but believe me, it's not like that.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot underestimate what the Greek Prime Minister had to say in his, usually secret discussions with whatever Cypriot Republic of Cyprus president. And at the same time, there is so many other actors involved. So, for me, we must not in any way get too much involved in what each politician in Cyprus says and see the big picture. And the big picture is that we are right now like a pawn on a big chessboard where too many players, much bigger players, are involved. Unfortunately, this is the situation. Not that we cannot do things. Of course we can. I wish a huge demonstration of Greek and Turkish Cypriot people takes place in Messauria somewhere, and thousands of people gather together and express their willingness to solve the problem. But do you see that happening? I went to the gathering outside the UN representative's house the other day when Erhürman Guterres would pass by and to demonstrate our willingness for a solution, and there was about 200 people. I don't know how many were in the north, but from TV captions, TV news I saw, there was about 30 Turkish Cypriots. I know it's August, it's hot, it's it was quite early, blah blah, but I don't see in the Cypriot people this mass mobilization that would change matters.
Yeah, we are a bit comfortable, and we have different priorities. Maybe like we got triggered from certain things.
And you know what's happening? I go to Alpha Mega supermarket just by my house, which is near the crossing. You know, every Saturday, there is more Turkish Cypriot people there. You know, we get on well with people sit together. We go to people go to Nero cafe and have their coffee, enjoy themselves, and you know, this is very comforting that ordinary people are getting together and they feel safe to come and go. But on the other side, it's a very dangerous situation because we are getting used to this. We get used to coexistence, but coexistence is something else to really living together. We tolerate each other, and we tolerate each other I don't know how old were you in 2004. Maybe some of you were not even born, but in 2004, just before the Annan plan, I mean, Turkish Cypriots would come and Greek Cypriots would go, and we had this hunger to learn about each other, to know about each other. Where are you, my friend? Where are you from? Oh, I am from Paphos too. So where do you live now? And people would mingle. And now it's just a peaceful, seemingly peaceful coexistence where we got used to all this. So I repeat, I'm not optimistic, and deliberately so.
Yeah. Well, we have mixed villages already, like Pira and other villages, and a person who's really searching about our coexistence, they can just look at there. We don't have like problems there. And yeah, other than that, I want to give the floor to my friends. I think they have some things to say today.
Yeah, of course.
Sir, I don't have much to say. I know how you feel. And what I've seen so far from your generation, from my grandparents' generation, they're all pessimists. They all stopped fighting. And there are a couple of your generation, they still keep the fight on, but they try to modernize their fight. They try to take it to television programs, doing TV shows or newspaper articles, etc. But it doesn't resonate with the youngsters, and they get more hate than they get support. But it's just the thing is, I also agree that the Cypriot people don't have it, and I truly believe that the Cypriot mentality, both communities, is that change will come from the top, from the politicians down towards the people. Never that should not be the case. We should start from the root as people and force the change up towards the chain. And there's a joke in the Turkish Cypriot community. I don't know if you guys heard of it, but the Letra Lokmacı Street, the Letra Street border, is the great osmosis layer. It diffuses the Cypriots and then allows us to go to Starbucks, etc. And even the joke itself is very ironic and very meta because it's how do I say it? It makes a comedy out of the tragedy that is the Cyprus situation. And drinking in Starbucks without interacting with Greek Cypriots, that is the real case. And coexistence, which is a tragedy. But
my generation is tired, Doruk. We are tired. It's 52 and more years. I mean, I was born on the 3rd of December, January 1963. Right in the start of the bicommunal fighting, and it's now I am now 63, and I've been hearing the same stories since then. Okay, we do what we can, but it's up to you in many ways to stir things up, and you should not give up your fight for at least an understanding between the younger generation. It's how you will do it. I don't know. I don't know.
Sir, you were born in 60s. You experienced the war. You experienced the end of the British era, start of the Republic, the 63 separation, the 74 war, the 83 declaration of the Republic of Northern Cyprus. As a peace supporter, as a Cypriot, what are your words to the young generation? What is it?
Well, it cannot be anything else than don't give up. Don't give up. Don't get comfortable in the current situation, because it's a time bomb for Turkish Cypriots too. I mean, I see the undermining of Turkish Cypriot identity. You know, I see the huge minarets built all over North Cyprus. I see Turkish businesses taking over in so many ways. I see the declining population. I see the increase of Turkish. I have nothing to do with people. It is just a matter of fact statement. You know, who are we going to talk with? This is an argument I use for Greek Cypriots. Who are we going to talk with in 20 years' time?
I have the same argument. I say it to my Greek Cypriot friends as well, but they don't take it to consideration. I say to them,
you will have
I say to them,
wall.
when the negotiating teams are settlers who have never experienced the war, who have never experienced unity, peace, who has nothing to do with Cypriot culture, Cypriot history. That's exactly when you know that you are getting screwed. You know.
Exactly.
And then I speak with them, and they told me, I'm sorry to cut it. They told me, you know, I'm from this party. I don't want to give the name. It's the most extremist, most settler Turkish whatever party. They were like, you know, we must build a wall now and put the wires and put the mines again, because they are bad people. They are EOKA. I think I'm not allowed to say this word in YouTube. I think I'm allowed, right? Terrorist. Like they say, all of them are bad people, this and that. I don't know why, but these guys have this feature of naming every nationality or group that they don't like as terrorists. So whatever, they just say like, we need to build this, we need to do this, so they can never ever have. And it's just sometimes surprising to see a young woman saying these things. Well, it's very easy to wash their brains, I think, in the north. Unfortunately, I wish they would have been more like us. You know, they will integrate.
It's the same happening here. I mean, and you know, one of the biggest problems is social media. You know, some idiot posts you know, a 50-year-old story about this woman being raped, or this man being killed, or this and that, and you know, and they don't know how to examine things in their time of happening. You understand? They cannot separate that what happened 50 or 60 years ago, or 40 years ago, or 30 years ago. It has no relevance other than maybe some historic extension to today's world. You understand? But there is so many people willing to seed hatred and whatever amongst the younger, especially, that and we are so perceptive to social media now that it destroys one TikTok 5-10 second post can ruin a year's education, you know. It's amazing the impact, because I read the comments young people write under such posts, and it's all nonsense, of course. It's all nonsense about the AKEL. It's all nonsense in today's world. Not that they do not have any relevance. We should learn from history, but not be guided by it in specific ways. You understand? There is, and at the end of the day, it's the Plato's caveman principle is applied everywhere. You understand? It's an amazingly false situation, but so believed in. So as social media spreads more and more and more and more, and as the nationalists and Elam or whoever in the north deliberately cultivate this kind of thing, people are becoming more and more apart. I remember very well, the situation was better 20 years ago in this respect than it is today. Of course, it's a global thing. It's a global thing, and it has been exasperated by, the Trump and what's the other idiot? Really, things were better.
Sorry.
20 years ago than they are today in this respect.
Yes, we have a question about Trump, actually, since you mentioned it. Let me find it. All right, so a really big Turkish YouTube channel about geopolitics. They ask us about this question to ask you, a Greek Cypriot. Who should be the negotiator? And should EU be on the table? And additionally, UN, Greece, and Turkey, right? Outside of them, should there be, does any other actor, can they contribute to this, negotiation, negotiation, like Trump? That's what they ask.
Are you asking my personal opinion?
Yes.
Well, all this is related to how you feel about more NATO involvement in finding a solution, especially with regards to the guarantee issue. The guarantees issue. There is talk, at least in the south, that perhaps with greater NATO involvement and more NATO countries becoming involved in forming a new guarantee framework, a more extended, a more wide guarantee framework, then it should be pursued. But maybe you have already read that AKEL, whom we cannot ignore under any circumstances, if ever a referendum is held again, already has stated that they are against any more meaningful or stronger NATO involvement in all this. So it depends how you see it. I mean, not all Cypriots see matters in the same way. If you are asking me personally, I wouldn't trust Trump in anything he says.
I understand. Yes.
Maybe I would have an opinion under a different American leader, but right now I cannot. Tim, you haven't said a word. You are just eating.
Yeah. I mean, I noticed that recently AKEL are speaking out against NATO. They don't want NATO to be part of the security framework of the solution. But I mean, we have to ask ourselves, how serious are they on adopting this position? Let's say in 2 years' time, we actually have a referendum for a solution. And the solution means that 40,000 Turkish soldiers will go back home. But maybe we have to keep 1,000 of them, mix them up with the French, the Americans, the Greeks. Like, in what planet would AKEL still be not supporting the solution just because they don't support NATO? I think if we had a NATO solution, I think what AKEL is doing is they're trying to get votes by peddling classic anti-Anglo-American narratives, which works among their voter base. It helps unify people. But when push comes to shove and we actually have a solution given to us that says Turkish guarantee will end, it'll be handed over to NATO, and we'll have a NATO presence.
Yes, but okay, yes, I understand it. AKEL is always relying on its let's call it popular base but well, this is the same. I mean, all parties do. It will be very interesting to see how AKEL would react in such a way. But let's not forget that in such a possibility team, AKEL will have unlikely friends, starting with Elam. You know, it will be a huge paradox that Elam and AKEL officially could be against this. You understand? I understand the logic. There is no logic in it. But you see what I mean? Let's not forget, in 2004, the reason why AKEL voted or officially said no to the Annan plan was because they realized that their popular base of voters were somehow more than their yes voters.
Yeah.
Of course, there is conspiracy theories that Papadopoulos and Christofias arranged other things between them. You know, like in a way, Papadopoulos promising Christofias that he would be the next president, as he did. But you see how party politics comes into this. And I'll repeat what I said at the beginning about not really having a visionary leader who will overturn all this, who will come out and convince people that this is the right way to go about it and solve the problem. We are kept down, we are immobilized by party politics. So I'm not sure if AKEL will see logic in all this. You understand? But listen, in Crans-Montana, what was the number of Turkish soldiers agreed to remain? 1800, I think, was the, like in the constitution, I believe that was almost settled.
No, I think the terms were that eventually it would be a total withdrawal down to the Treaty of Alliance numbers, so 650 for the Turks, but there would be a 15-year period where basically they almost fully withdraw, but they're down to maybe between, I don't know, a token force of, let's say, 1,000, 2,000, 15-year period on the island. But the big block that I understand was that the Turks wanted a review clause. So after 15 years, the UNSG submits a report saying, oh, the solution has been successful, the Turkish soldiers can go home. Or if the solution hasn't been successful, the Turkish soldiers remain. But the Greek Cypriot side wanted a sunset clause. So after 15 years, all Turkish soldiers who are not here lawfully go back. And this was apparently, this is what blew up, or one of the remaining issues that blew up. The Greek Cypriots wanted a sunset clause so that they could disappear after 10, 15 years. and Turkish Cypriots wanted more of a review clause. Let's see how things go. Maybe the Turkish soldiers will remain a bit longer. But I think in terms of like what the parameters of the solution will look like, it's unquestionable that Turkey and Greece are going to continue having soldiers. But as long as they're in an amount where they don't pose a threat to our democracy, to our culture, then I think we can stomach them. And if they're under a NATO flag instead of Turkish and Greek flags, even better.
Oh, I agree on that. Listen. I don't care who takes care of the security issue. I would align with the devil if it would lead to a solution and you know, convince people that this could work. But as I said, there is so many parties involved and so many that, you know, if we come to a referendum as it is, Tim, today or in a year's time or even in 5 years' time, I would say, the result will be very close. You know, this is how things work, I think, and with the current frame mind of Greek Cypriots at least. So you need the votes of every single every single party should be in favor to convince their voters, and they will still have a problem. You know, I mean, I know people from the left, you know, who are as against settlement in Cyprus as people from the far right are.
Yeah.
This is because other matters come into effect. Yeah. Other matters are involved, like property and you know, and businesses, and this fear of upsetting the current way of how things work. You know, that it's difficult to convince people to get away from this status quo thing and go to something else. Change is always difficult to accept, even if you know that it's from worse to better. Change itself is not easily accepted sometimes. You know, I was a bank manager for 25 years. Each time we were to change the IT system that would make people's life easier, there was so much objection to it because it was a change. Oh, we learn how to work on this and that. Of course, it went ahead, and after a few months, everybody knew the new system much better, and they all realized how it made their life easier. But still, in the next one, they still had the same objections. This is, I think, human nature not to accept change easy, especially if I'm okay with the current situation. There is so many things involved. I mean, there's Turkish Cypriot properties in the south, I don't know how much you know, that have been distributed to friends and relatives in such a haphazard, and that all these people that are now making a life out of being situated or you know, whatever in a Turkish Cypriot property, they will object to it in the same way I guess that Turkish Cypriot people will object. It's a time creates its own justice and its own fairness.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what we fail to realize, that the biggest enemy throughout has been time, at least for the Greek Cypriot side, and we just don't realize it. And we have learned to live. We have learned to live with the current situation.
Yeah.
You understand? It's how can I say it? It's like seeing a half buried ship in the sea, and we are proud of the other half. You understand what I mean? We have learned to live with this.
Yeah.
We have learned to live with the current situation, and we are learning more and more to live with the passing of time. Yeah. So how can you get over this mess? I really don't know.
So, I mean, before you joined the call, we've been speaking now for like almost 5 hours, me, Doruk, and Berk, and we've been speaking for a long time. Yeah. But my whole thing that people know me for is optimism on the Cyprus problem, and I live in the south.
Yeah.
So it's too long for me to explain all of my views, but basically, I believe that the Nikos Christodoulidis government is a Cyprus problem government. It's absolutely obsessed with the Cyprus problem, and I see lots of positive momentum. I mean, earlier you mentioned that the UN week with Guterres' visit, like most people in the south, they perceive it as a failure. I challenge that. I say, how the hell can anybody perceive this as a failure? Because the Guarantor conference is now confirmed. Both sides are being asked to draw up a convergence document for basically to outline where they think the process failed at Crans-Montana. Rafael Efito, our new EU envoy, he's actually our old EU guy. He used to deal with the Green Line. No, he still deals with the Green Line regulation and with the Turkish Cypriot aid budget as the Commissioner for Cohesion and Reforms. And now he's our envoy. And the EU recently, according to Nikos, has offered to build him a legal team so that we can bridge the gaps in the negotiations in the parts where Turkish Cypriots are asking for slight derogations from EU law so that they can make the solution bizonal, bicommunal. Anyway, so in my opinion, everything that the Nikos Christodoulidis government has been doing, whether it's the visits to America, and I'm a deeply pro-Palestinian person, whether it's the visits to Jerusalem, whether it's the applications to Schengen, it's all been following a logic that is pressuring Turkey to get to, from various different angles, to come back to negotiations. And I really believe we're going to see this momentum that we're seeing now is no accident. It has been created over the last 2 or 3 years. And I believe that this momentum is going to build up in the next few months and get more and more positive. But what I wanted to ask you, because you've lived in the South your whole life, the other two lads, they're from the North. I'm from London. I came here 3 years ago, so I'm a stranger. If we did get a deal, right, what kind of messages would you need to send the Greek Cypriot community to get the majority? And now I'm thinking, okay, we tell them the Turkish army is going to withdraw. End of the occupation. That's a positive message. We tell them they'll get Varosha back. That's a positive message. We tell them that EU law will be applied across the whole island. That's a positive message. We tell them maybe 100,000 refugees have gone home, since that's the number that the Greek Cypriots have been using in the negotiations to figure out how much land they want back. So if we tell them these things, is it possible to sell them to a yes vote?
No.
No?
No. It will not be as easy, Tim. Listen, you grew up in the United Kingdom, maybe or not maybe. You went to an English school, and you talk logic. This is Cyprus, my friend. This is the Cyprus problem is as much sociological and psychological as it is political. What needs to be done is to tell the people the truth. And the truth is that unless we find a solution soon, the island will be divided forever. This is probably the only thing that will shake them a little bit, but it cannot come from me and you. It will have to come from the leaders. Mm-hmm. I want Christodoulidis to stand in front of the cameras when the time comes and tell people exactly this. We have two choices. It's either a solution as good as we can get, saving what can be saved, or in 10, 15, 20 years' time, we'll have a common border with Turkey.
Yeah.
You understand? Going about it in the middle of the way manner. We'll try. We do this, and we go. It doesn't work like this with the Cypriots. You have to give them straight choices. It's either this or that. I know it sounds, it sounds threatening and people don't like threats, but sometimes you have to lead.
Yeah.
You have to lead. I mean, it's not a simple matter. For me, it's a matter of life and death for Cyprus.
Yeah, for sure.
We are running out of time, very dangerously so. And let me tell you one thing: the difficult situation will come after the signatures are put down.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, to make the solution, any solution, work. And that's something that people have to be educated about it. Now, most people have no idea what a bizonal, bicommunal federation means.
Yeah.
Believe me, I mean, the ordinary person in the street doesn't know the basics. And they don't realize that in a way it has been a bizonal, bicommunal federation since 1960.
Yeah.
They don't know that the Turkish guarantees are in place according to our constitution. They don't know the most basic facts about the Cyprus problem. They think Turkish guarantees, we insist on guarantees, and they believe this is something new. It's not. We don't know the basics. And people must start to be educated on this, and nobody's doing it. I mean, I can write as long an article on Facebook or whoever explaining these things. Most people don't read more than 2 lines. Most people don't care. This has to come from the top. It cannot go from the grassroots. It has to come from the top by an administration that really cares of what's going to happen after. You can have the worst kind of solution in your perception, but you can make it livable if you work on it. Or you can have the best kind of solution in your perception and destroy it after a few months if you are not careful.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's very much a sociological issue, a psychological issue. People are blocked. And the Greek Cypriots must realize that it's never going to be a really fair solution it cannot be. How can you tell the people from Kyrenia, look, you can go back and you cannot go? You understand how people perceive this? Or you can go, but you cannot go to your house, you have to build one because there is someone else there now. It's not going to be a fair inverted line, the solution. You must tell the people the truth. We are flying because we are living in a world in the south, between myth and dream. Things are simple, but they are complicated too. And the only way, in my opinion, not the only way, there must be clear and honest talk on this. Where do you live, Tim?
Larnaca.
You live in Larnaca. Okay. You are a Charlie.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So don't compare yourself and your kind of background with the average Cypriot. Unfortunately, it's not like that. We are okay. In the whole world, people are basing their decisions on sentiment, and then trying to make logic out of it, But in Cyprus, this is happening 10 times more than because of our history. I'm sorry, but you'll have to excuse me. I will be very happy to talk with you again. At this time of day, it suits me fine. Berg, so have it in mind. But it would be good if you persuade, a few more people from Volt to get involved.
That would be amazing. We would love that.
Amazing.
Ask Andromachi or Harilaos, or specifically ask them specifically.
Actually, yeah.
By name, by a personal call. It's nice to have, it doesn't have to be the reconciliation committee only. It can be people from other committees too. It would be nice to have 10, 15, 20 people having the chance to talk.
Yes. Yes. The problem is generally getting everyone together. It's really hard.
I know. No, forget it. Forget it until October.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have a word with Tariq, and try to convince him that at least the reconciliation committee should be more involved in this kind of talks. But at the same time, invite some other people from the Turkish Cypriot side. Just friends. It doesn't have to be, just friends who would like to take part. But don't stick to my age. You have to get more younger people involved, because it's up to you. It's up to you.
We invite everyone anytime.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. It was a lovely discussion. Nice to meet you, Tim. Nice to meet you, Doruk. And let's hope we can repeat this soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Thank you.
Give us likes, guys.
Speech. It was amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
All right. I think that was a very nice experience. I think it was great to see it.
Yes.
This was what we were missing. Some realism. And we really wanted to have a Greek Cypriot perspective as well. So we had the opportunity to do it live as well, which is very phenomenal. I think we can repeat this again. And it's about accepting everyone's faults. Every side made mistake, and we're still making mistakes. And it's just, we have to accept the reality and move on. We don't have the luxury to delve into our feelings, etc. So yeah, it's so sad because people just joined, but they missed the actual show.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Doruk, we are missing something.
Yeah.
We are missing female join.
Yes. We
joining them.
We are working on it. We need to have a diversity of opinion, and we need to do it. But I just want to talk about what he said as well. We truly believe in understanding and debating and having explanations. And we want to learn more, but we also want to teach as well. And one of the biggest part of this YouTube channel is we really wanted to dive deep into the Republic and its ancient history. We want to see the first Turkish Cypriot leaders. I'm not talking about Fazıl Küçük, the people who were leaderships. I'm talking about Necati Özkan, who got his surname from Atatürk. I want to dive into how Makarios got elected, the constitution, who's the guarantee, what's Turkey's guaranteed position, why it's important, how is the constitution so divisive, and the problems of the constitution, but also the good sides of the constitution as well. Nothing is always truly bad, or nothing is truly really good. We have a couple of episodes on that. We wanted to also talk about the news and the progress that made in 5+1, which we've done. And the next episode hopefully will be in a couple of days, where we talk about the Guterres meeting and what it means to us, and of course Mr. Euripides, which is he has an absolutely very cool name, straight from the Odyssey. Shout out to Christopher Nolan's Odyssey movie.
Of course.
Yeah, basically, if anyone wants to join us, we can talk about politics. We're still live. Does anyone have anything to say?
I can invite a couple of more people, but I don't know. Tim looks like he's like, please liberate me. I want to go. Bye-bye. Enough.
5 hours today.
5 hours.
5 hours of politics.
We've been talking about Cyprop non-stop for 5 hours. If Cenk wants to join, I can go for another hour. But...
Oh, Cenk Hoca.
Is
Let me
Cenk
write
here?
him then.
Is Cenk Hoca here?
Yeah, of course.
Mad respects. Legend himself. Yeah.